Hey everybody, it's me, Undead Viking. I want to take a few minutes here to tell you about a game I've been playing the heck out of with my buddies called Monster Mansion. Now, as you can probably guess, this is a game about a monster mansion. Technically, it's about a monster mansion within a amusement park something's gone crazy inside, and so the people inside are actually being faced with being killed by monsters and traps and what have you. And it is a cooperative or semi-cooperative game that involves all the players having to race through this monster mansion while being attacked by, like as I said, traps and monsters and what have you. And if you die, you're not out of the game. You just basically respawn with like less equipment and what have you. And but the whole thing is that this game is timed, and you have a timer that 10 minutes per player, and then like you all have to get out and escape before it ends. Or so if one person gets left behind, then you all lose. So it's an all or nothing type of thing. So let me show you how to play the game. It shouldn't take very long, and then we'll come back here and I'll tell you exactly what I think of Monster Mansion. Alright, this is Monster Mansion. Now technically this is not a full set of the game, because the what was sent to me was the mini mansion, but it came in this awesome cool little box, which I adore. It looks like a little mansion, and this is obviously a prototype, so bear that in mind as I go through this playthrough. I set up a 3-player game, so this is going to be a fully cooperative game. Now, if you play with more, you can still play fully cooperative. You don't have to add in an agenda part of the game, but this is, if you do play with 4 or more, you have the option of adding in a VIP, which is the person that has to be saved at all costs. Civilians, whatever, they need to escape too, because the whole point of this game is to escape out of the monster mansion. And then if you're playing cooperative, everybody's got to escape, and then you win. If anybody dies or doesn't make it out before the timer goes off, then you fail. In the game with agendas, you need to still escape. Everybody escape out of the mansion, but the VIP can't die. Now, normally when you die, what happens is you respawn, basically. If you die in the first corridor, you respawn at the starting room. If you die over here, you restart in the secret stairs. And then you just kind of come back. You lose all your equipment and your gold or whatever, and well, actually you get to choose if you want to have 1 piece of equipment or 2 gold, your choice. Then you can like just start up again and still try to escape, but your turn's done if you died on your turn. But if you are playing with an assassin, and you can have more than 1 assassin, depending on the number of players that you have, the assassin wants to kill the VIP, and if the VIP dies at any time, the assassin or the assassin team will win the game at that point. But keep that in mind. You can play with like kind of a secret role aspect in the game, and I played it that way, and it's a lot of fun actually to be the bad guy, if you will. Just kind of purposely doing suboptimal moves, trying to make sure the person's trying to find the VIP and making sure that they don't make it out alive, if you will. So anyway, so this, as I said, is a 3-person game. I've picked 3 characters at random. I have Officer Ivan, the bodyguard, Professor Wang, the scientist, and Shanika, the woman with the katana. You can only assume where that comes from, but obviously there's more players. I'll show you some of the other characters here real quick. Lieutenant Dynamite, Nurse Jessica Jones, the Franzies, Jamie Wildman Jones, Mr. Fraun. So what you have is like these abilities, obviously hit points. If you run out of hit points, you die. The hand here, whenever you have to roll a die to like kind of avoid a trap or whatever, you get to add whatever your hand stat is to your roll. 1 always fails, however. The heal thing, if you decide to heal somebody that's in the room, including yourself, you can heal that much damage. And then this little fist here, obviously you're going to guess the 2, that's for fighting. And so if you decide to fight a monster, you're just going to do 2 points of damage. You can find weapons and stuff that will increase that ability. And so here, weapons expert, start, your attack can hit targets up to 1 room away from you, connected by a door. And so you can have, and then, so when you obviously then discard possessions and monster. Each person has their own discard pile, so keep that in mind. You don't just have a standard discard where everything goes. So, but you can choose a character, draw it randomly, however you want to handle it. There's an encounter deck, which people will be drawing from as they play the game. There's an item deck, and there is these 4 things that you can buy. And here we have vision goggles. It costs 3 gold and permanent +2 to the hand attribute if you have it. So obviously a powerful thing. Health potion costs 1 gold. Anytime, discard to heal any player in the room back to full hit points. So, I mean, there's things like that. And a poison potion that'll lower anything in the room down to 1 hit point. And then stone potion, anytime, discard and negate all damage from a single source. Also, traps that would cause instant death. So you notice that you start here and you kind of go this quarter and down like that. I had more mansion and dungeon cards, so bottom level, top level, and so, but I just made, this is how they set up. You can make the game as long as you want, you can make it as short as you want. Just a reminder that the game says 10 minutes per player, and so that you have like in this case there's 3 players, so you have 30 minutes for everybody to escape the mansion. And so I've set the timer, and so you'd hit start, and then there it goes. So it goes. So obviously I'm not going to do 30 minutes of gameplay, but that's what you'll have. And obviously you don't have to use, you can use whatever timing aspect you're going to use. So playing is really, really simple and straightforward. And you obviously do these little handy rules things too. You can do any of these actions at any time. Buy an item. You can sell an item back and just goes underneath to the bottom of the item deck. If you're in the same room as somebody, you can trade stuff, money or your items, or you can use an item if it has that on there. And you can see those, obviously have that on there. And then on your turn, you just, whoever goes first, you grab, you take the 6-sided die, like so. And then first thing you do is you have to draw an encounter card. And so even like right away at the very beginning. And then after you draw an encounter card, you can then move, attack, or heal. And then you do whatever the monster's attack is or effect, and then you pass the die. Now, spots will have certain things as well, but only when you try to cross them, like go to the next room. So like you could move into this room, crossing 5 or plus or more, or you're stuck in the room. And so then that's what you do. So the first thing that happens is you grab the die, and that means it's your turn. Everybody else is watching. Now, anybody else can do any of these anytime things while you're doing your turn. Remember, it's timed, so you want people to, like, you speeding up and taking care of these things. So if they want to buy items or sell items, they can do that as you're going. But obviously, since you're working together, you might want to talk or whatever. So the first person who goes, let's say it's just this bodyguard guy. After you grab the die, you draw your card. So we're going to draw an encounter, and we'll see what we get here. And we get a Wicked Witch, and she's got 2 hit points. And you can see here, if you kill her, she's going to give you an item. So you draw an item, and then immediately you lose the ability to attack. So sometimes she comes in the guise of a beautiful woman or whatever, just some little flavor text. So what happens then is that this engages the player. So we're just going to put her right there, and then we take one of these little icons like this, and we will show she's got 2 hit points. And she is now attached to Officer Ivan. He can't attack her because she has this ability that like makes it so he can't attack her. He can't do anything to defeat her. So he could move into the next room, but then what happens is that she goes with him. So like she doesn't stay in the same spot. So the player, as Ivan, says, well, one of the things I can move, I can attack, I can heal. Well, I'm not going to do anything because I want these 2 people to like beat the heck out of her and knock her out. So he's going to stay in that room, and hopefully, because he's the big bruiser guy, you want him to be able to attack. So goes to the next person. You never have to roll the die or anything like that. The next person draws an encounter because they grab the die, they draw an encounter, and they get the Insane Scientist. Turn end. If you are alone in a room, you die immediately. Well, that's not good, but let's say that's Professor Wang got that. Here, I'll just put his money off to the side. And so you can see he's got 2 hit points as well. And so now Professor Wang has this guy attached to him, like engaged, if you will. And so So he's dealing with the. So now he can go and he can attack something if he wants. And so he's going to attack. And he's going to go ahead and knock the witch down to 1 hit point. That's his turn. And so now it'll be Shanika's turn. And, Shanika has, remember, she gets +1 gold whenever your attack kills a monster in addition to the usual reward. So now the person, normally when the monster dies, the person that is engaged gets the reward. But in this case, if she does the attack, she'd actually get a gold for it. So that's kind of cool. So she gets the encounter, and it's nothing. It's a whiff. Discard immediately, no effect. It's just wind or something like that. So nothing happens to her. She's not attacking. She's not have to do anything. And so he's, so she's going to go ahead and do the last final hit to the witch, kills the witch. Witch dies, goes into Officer Ivan's discard pile, and she'll get a gold coin for killing it, and he gets the reward of 1 item. And so he pulls the item, and it's a katana, which is pretty nice. It permanent +2 fist attribute. So he's going to have that, and so he's going to be a big bruiser now. He's going to have 5, the ability to do 5 points of damage on his turn. So now he finally goes. He's going to draw a card for his turn or what have you. You notice these turns go really quickly. He pulls it over and he has a werewolf. At the end of his turn, he's going to take a damage, +1 extra damage for each additional player in the room. Well, that's no good. I mean, he can kill it though if he attacks it. But once again, we're not moving forward. We're not getting anywhere. But he's going to stay there and he's just going to kill it because he's got the 3 plus the 2. He's going to do an attack. He's going to kill the werewolf. We're not even going to bother setting it up. We're going to, and he gets another item. So he gets that. He draws another item, and here he has a stone potion. Well, you know what? He's actually just going to, he's actually just going to hand that stone potion over to over to the Professor Wang, because he doesn't have a lot of. Well, actually, he's going to give it to Shanika because she doesn't have a lot of hit points, and so because he can trade, he's in this room. Now at the same time, Shanika turned in the 3 gold to buy this, so she gets +2 to her hand ability, and and she's actually going to hand that over to Ivan because he's got 0 on the hands ability, so he can actually do it. And so we replace that thing, and so now we get another poison potion, and then so you can see this turn. So eventually, we've played lots of games like this where we're not moving at all. You'll get into a room that has an ability, and so you have to roll. In this case, you have to roll 5 or more, to pass, or you get stuck in the room. So if Ivan wanted to go into the next room on his turn, he rolls a die. He's got the +2 to his hands. He rolls a die. 1. Well, 1 always fails no matter what, so it doesn't work. He doesn't get to move. He doesn't get to do what he wants to. Now, that's that stinks and what have you. But there's a lot of things, like some rooms like this one, is you can take a turn action just to heal to full hit points by being in this potion, with the potion. Some of them kind of stink, like. You roll 5 or plus or take 3 damage from the giant burst of flames. And some of them are equally awful, that crossing, roll a 4 above or fall into the chasm and die. And so you can see that this, as the things stack, and plus, especially if you get kind of left behind, like maybe Professor Wayne got left behind, and he draws, and he gets the purple alien, monster, and now that's attached to him. He takes 1 damage, +1 damage for each point of hit points the alien is missing. Now players have to decide: are you going to catch up to us? Do I got to come back and save you? And there's all things like that going on. And what happens is a lot of times you'll get multiple monsters and multiple effects on the board that, when they combine together, turn out to be really, really deadly. Ultimately, hopefully, you all make it to the exit room here before the timer goes off. And in the exit room, you still have to roll 5 or more to finally escape. And after you escape, you can't trade with anybody, you can't help anybody, you just got to kind of hope that they can pull it off and win. And I've had several games of this happen where people have left because they're like, I'm going to roll, I'm going to escape. And then because thinking that the other players have it in hand, but due to bad luck and bad planning, what happens there is that they are unable to get out in time, and the timer runs out because it's going out. And what stinks is that if you get to the end here and you're waiting for other people to get to the end, you're still drawing an encounter card each time. And so then that room becomes polluted with monsters, and everybody's fighting monsters that might do damage to everybody in the room. There's even some monsters, like here, let's see if I can find one here. There's some monsters that will, attack everybody in the room. Like there's a Killbot 2000, if I can find them here. Well, I mean, you can have things like this, lesser demons. All players take 1 damage. Any player who attacks the demon must first take equal damage on themselves. I mean, he's obviously, a pretty big pain in the rump, if you will. Here we go. So, like, you have something like the Killbot 3000. Or turn in, all players in the room take 2 damage. So you have a situation there where that is stuck on somebody, sitting on the end, waiting for everybody to go, and everybody's like, get out of here, escape, or go to another room, so we don't have to deal with this stupid robot. So, but, it's stuff like that happens that makes the game entertaining. As one person just can't, roll better than a 1 or something like that over and over again. And also, like, very, very tense as you're watching the timer tick down slowly towards you losing the game. So, there you go. That's how you play Monster Mansion. But let me tell you more about why I love this game in my conclusion. I know I mentioned it in the gameplay, but this little box, I just think I like it when, good box art is obvious, like in some games, like offhand Battle of 5 Armies. I mean, that has some awesome box art. I mean, just because of the fact that it is what it is. But there are certain games that, like, the publishers or what have you, that they go above and beyond. It's like, so why don't we take the box and make it a mansion? So that's pretty cool. I just dig that. I like it when people kind of, the presentation, if you will. Now, if the game sucked, it would still suck, but the presentation would be awesome. So, there you go. I showed you how to play the game. It's pretty quick. Sorry. Whenever I see poker chips, I gotta play with them. So I kind of went into a little bit with the gameplay as far as what I digged or what I enjoyed as far as part of the game. But this is a game where, especially with cooperative game, and even with the assassins and the VIP or whatever, this is a game where everybody is engaged at all times when you're playing the game. There's no, like, real downtime. Even when we played it with, like, 6 people, we've never really had a moment where, like, one person was just like, oh, is it my turn yet? Is it my turn yet? No, I mean, everybody was always constantly trying to, like, think of, like, especially when we built bigger maps or whatever, because people would get kind of broken off into groups, and you'd be like, okay, so we got to stick together, we got to move. It's like, okay, I'm going to move this turn, and then my cat's here. I'm going to move this turn, and then no, it's you're going to have to move, and catch up. Okay, kill that monster quick. It's like, I got to go back. I can't get past that trap with what I got. You got to give me some items. You got to give me some gold. Somebody buy something so we can get a better item. Maybe show up in the item shop and stuff like that. And so yes, it is a little silly that there's like an item shop that you can just buy stuff with. But if you're gonna actually quibble a little bit as far as like whether or not that fits, then it's a little bit ridiculous that real monsters would inhabit a monster mansion at an amusement park at the same time as well. So I don't think you should find a problem with that. But overall, what is the game? It is a dice fest. It is thematic. It is a heck of a lot of fun, and especially when you see that the timer is like counting down to those last 3, 4, 5 minutes or whatever of the game, and you realize that you're not gonna win, and you just start doing that mad bull rush to make it out. We've had some just epic situations and stories that have arisen from that situation, and ultimately, like, what is a game to me? Did I have fun playing it? Yes. So if I had fun, then the game itself is good, and that's what I kind of rate everything on whenever I do one of these reviews. So if you are a fan, I know people are going to like compare it a little bit to Escape, Cursed Temple, which I don't. I mean, and I recognize that as being a correlation, but this game stands on its own in my opinion, and it's not that I don't, and I actually enjoyed this game more than Escape, because I think this one just kind of had a lot more, like, I really felt like I was playing with people. I really felt like I was like, everybody else was like kind of, focused on the game and engaged in it, and everybody was like, even on when it wasn't your turn, I mean, you were like sitting there, you're either rooting for somebody or like you're cursing them when they roll poorly, and so I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, and there's a lot actually, like there's some strategy and tactics involved that like that you got to be kind of quick on your toes as far as like the weird combinations of the monsters in the rooms or whatever, and like getting yourself into the best situation to succeed. And you know, I mean, it isn't like ridiculously deep or anything like that, but I was actually really pleasantly surprised that this wasn't just a game of turn a card over and do what it tells you. This was a game that you kind of had more of your hands and yes, hi. You had more of a you had more control over your fate than I thought you would than when this I played this. So for all of those reasons, I mean, I think this is a great game for people that like a party game atmosphere, but it isn't so much a party game. It's an interactive experience for you and your friends, and so I highly recommend it if this is like a theme that you like. If you like games with like those hidden agenda type secret roles, and if you like just games that if you can kind of in a way turn your brain off and just kind of have fun for a half hour or so, and enjoy the people that you're at the table with. So there you go. So if you have any questions about the game, please ask those. I'd love to answer those to the best of my ability. As always, I greatly appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. And as always, until next time, have yourself one heck of an awesome day. All right? Okay, bye-bye.